What would happen if a brand new keyboard and mouse player attempted to climb the ranks all the way from bronze to unreal in less than 24 hours? Now this is going to be difficult because unreal is the hardest rank to reach in Fortnite. Would I be able to reach this goal and make all my friends and family proud? Or would I fail and let every single person down that I know? Was that too dramatic for a Fortnite video? So yeah, like I said, I'm a very new keyboard and mouse player. In fact, I've only been playing on keyboard and mouse for about a month now, so it's gonna be very difficult to reach Unreal as a new keyboard and mouse player. Also, I originally started this challenge in Fortnite OG, since that was the game mode that I currently was not ranked in. And I literally played through Fortnite OG for hours just to get up to Platinum 3, then found out that nobody actually plays ranked Fortnite OG past that point. So guess what I had to do? I had to completely start over in normal battle royale, where I currently was silver 2. Now I know what you might be thinking.
Oh, but Precision, that's not bronze to unreal, that's silver to unreal.
Well, chill out, okay? I literally spent hours grinding from unranked to platinum in OG. I think you can make an exception for this. All right, let's get started for real. The first game started out just like any typical battle royale game, and I landed at Masked Meadows. At least I tried. I didn't quite make it, but you know, after opening that one chest, then I made my way all the way over to Masked Meadows. Now the reason I really like this place is because you're guaranteed a void mask every single time, as long as you go to the underground tunnels. And I need that void mask for transportation. But before I went to the tunnels, I eliminated this guy. But then after I eliminated him, I went straight to the tunnels and got all my shield and looted up on other weapons. And you already know I got the void mask. After I was done with the tunnels, I then fought off the Demon Warrior. Did that sound cool? But I took that purple sentinel from him. Now I basically had my favorite loadout in the entire game, except for the shield keg. I would much rather have a blob over a shield keg. But after that, I harvested up some materials, then made my way over to the Sprite shrine thingy so I could find a blob. So I revealed where they were and then replaced the shield kegs with the Sprite. Then I shoved him inside the rock and waited for him to give me my gun. Sadly, he didn't really give me any good loot, but I did get a water boon. Now, because this was just a silver lobby, my goal was just to W key everybody. And if you don't know what W keying is, it basically just means fighting every single person you see. I mean, I knew I could win against most of these people because they're not really that good. And on my way towards the gunshots, somebody started shooting at me, and then I literally just took them out in 2 seconds. Then I just drove my motorcycle around looking for people. I absolutely love these motorcycles. So I approached Seaport City and teleported over to a roof, and then I found a guy just running around, so I was gonna try to attack him. But then somebody teleported towards me, so I had to fight him. But I mean, it really wasn't that difficult. These players aren't that good. So I took that mythic void mask from him and traded out my AR for his. Then I hitched a ride with this guy, and he kept trying to like get away, but I don't know why he thinks that's gonna work. I literally just got in every single time. So I blew up his car and then watched as he ran like a little baby. Well, babies don't run, but you know what I mean. I honestly don't know what he was doing. I think he was just trying to get away at this point. So I lasered him out of the sky and got that elimination as well. So I watched the guy who was driving out of the water. I don't know why he was driving out of the water. And then he got out of his car like that was a smart thing to do, buddy. So I basically just chased him down because I was not gonna let him get away. Anyways, I drove around on my bike again looking for some more fights, and that's when I just found a bunch of purple loot sitting next to a cyber truck. I mean, that's cool, I guess. You do you. Anyways, though, I looked around for more fights and went up to the floating islands to see if anybody was up here. And what do you know? There is somebody. So I started lasering him, and he was invisible, so it wasn't the easiest thing to do. And he tried to get away by gliding away, so I lost him. Then I saw somebody trying to glide down on me. I don't know how I'm missing all my shots. Like, I'm really not that good. So anyways, I just kept spraying at him, so he would be a little scared at least, maybe. And then I finally eliminated him out of the air. And then I started getting lasered out of the air. So you know what I had to do? I had to use my little blob, and he teleported over to me and tried to push me. And I didn't even realize at the time that that was the last guy until he eliminated me. So yeah, that's cool. I died to that. But anyways, I did end up getting second place with 6 eliminations, which ranked me all the way up to silver 3, 85%. So for the next game, I had the same plan. Just W key everybody in the lobby, Only this time, I went straight to the tunnels. So I got full shield instantly and then started looting the tunnels like I did before, which ended up giving me some pretty good loot actually. So I harvested some materials a little bit before I went to go look for some fight. And it didn't even take that long for somebody to start shooting at me. And I actually just eliminated them immediately. But then I noticed somebody else was close by to me. So I got them too, but then another person was close by. And look at the kind of player they are. I didn't even want to try there. Like, I already knew I would die from that stupid sword. Even though I died early on in that game, I still ranked up to gold. I think it was just because I already had a few eliminations. Anyways, for the next game, I died right away. Look, I'm just saving your time here. I still ranked up a little bit though, so I guess that game wasn't a total loss. So I went into the next game, and this time I decided to land at the mountains instead of Masked Meadows. And I instantly picked up an elimination off spawn.
Why are you running?
Then I saw that there were people fighting near me, so I tried to chase this guy down. Then I noticed he got away, and I didn't really feel like going and chasing after him, so I just let him go. Then I started to loot the driving tunnel things, and that's when that same guy just came out of the porta potty. Guess I still got the elimination. Then I figured the reason he went to the porta potty was probably because somebody was chasing him, so I just waited for somebody else to come out, and they did. So now I was at 3 eliminations, and the game was looking like it might go pretty well. I ended up driving all over the map and then found nobody, so I just came back to the tunnels. And that's when I saw some footsteps. This guy was peeking out from behind a door, so that let me get an easy shot off of him. And then as I started to go after him, he pulled out a sword and was getting ready to slash me with it. So thankfully I got him before that happened. Then as I was leaving, somebody drove by in a car. So I shot them through the windshield a little bit, and then I jumped into their car and pulled off this 5 billion IQ move. And that was enough to get him to jump out of his car, so I got a free elimination. The game was looking pretty good. I had 5 eliminations and was in the top 25, so I just had to play this game really well to hope that I would rank up a lot. So I ran all over the map looking for some people to fight, and I honestly didn't even find anybody for a while. So I dropped down to some underground tunnels, and I had a feeling that somebody was in them. So I got a free elimination there as well. So I went all the way back to the driving tunnels, and that's just kind of where I stayed for a little bit. Then I decided to go back to the top of the mountains, so I rode the zipline up. Then I saw somebody running really far away in the distance, so I hit them once and then decided to teleport closer to them. They just had their sword out, so I knew I had to just do my best to counter it, and thankfully they weren't a spammer, so I eliminated them very quickly. I saw somebody driving towards the floating islands, so I chased them down and got an elimination there too. And then I went up to the islands to see if anybody was up there. Nobody was up there, so I decided to fight Shogun X myself. At that time, I didn't realize that he could teleport because I had never fought him before. So when he teleported over to me, I realized what I had gotten myself into. I figured out how to counter most of his attacks though pretty quickly, so it wasn't too difficult to fight him. And right as I was about to finish him off, I got introduced to a third partier, so that's great. He was literally 1 HP, and that's when some fellow friends decided to join. One of them eliminated the other one, and then they just left instantly. I mean, I have no clue why they just left so suddenly. They left the victory crown, the medallion, the sword, and all the loot from the other guy. So I guess I still got what I was trying to earn. I saw the sword just sitting there, and it was just so tempting, so I had to take it. So I dropped back down to the surface level and saw some more shooting, so I decided to go W key whoever was fighting, and that's how I eliminated this guy. I mean, it's pretty crazy because at this point I had 9 eliminations and was in the top 7. So I knew I would rank up a lot from this game. So anyways, I saw somebody in some metal structure below me and decided to build over to where they were. Then they started teleporting away, so I just chased them down the best I could. I hit a few shots on them, but then I lost them. So I looked around and couldn't find them anywhere. Then I found some other random guy just running around. I know it wasn't the same person, but it was just another guy. But I mean, it's another elimination, so. At this point, I had eliminated over 10% of the lobby and was in the top 5. So this game was going great. Then I found this one guy just running around, and I got him really low, but then I completely lost track of him. Then I saw this one guy, and I missed my shots with my shotgun because I'm garbage at this game. So that really sucked because I was doing really good, but that game was still really good, and it was enough to rank me up to gold 2. For the next game, not a lot of action happened, to be honest, so I'm just gonna skip to the end where I died. The game wasn't that great, but it was enough to rank me up to gold 3, so I was happy with that. So now I was basically about to hit platinum, so I was making really good progress. So for the next game, that's what I planned to do, but honestly that didn't even happen because I died, but it still ranked me up a little bit. So again, that game wasn't a complete loss. So in the next game, I decided to go to the mountains again, and that's where I ended up getting some pretty decent loot. I then drove around to my car, and that's actually how I eliminated this one guy. So after that, I picked up another elimination. But then Storm came, and that's when I found somebody else who was in Storm too. So now we were both fighting while trying to outrun Storm. And of course, I was the one who died. But like, look at this. Like, why do the cones have to go inside the ground like that? That's so annoying. For the next game, I went to Masked Meadows again. And to be honest, I'm just not really gonna show everything that happened because I'm sure it's gonna get really boring if I keep talking about how I land at Masked Meadows. But anyways, as the game went on, I picked up an elimination and another elimination and another elimination and another elimination. And then I fought the Shogun X boss again. And now I'm gonna go ahead and just say this ahead of time, but this endgame that I got into is probably the most competitive looking endgame I've ever been in. I mean, it honestly looked like I was playing a cash cup or something. Zone had gotten really small, so it didn't leave a lot of room for people to fight. So I got into this build battle with this one guy, but of course I got third partied because that seems to be a common thing that happens in Fortnite. So I had to kind of just wait out the other shooting for a little bit. But then when zone shifted, I knew I had to move. So I shockwaved over to the water to heal up since I had a water boon. And that's kind of just where I hung out for a second until I regained most of my shield. But then as the game went on, I started to run out of materials. So the zone was really small and it was in a very awkward position. It was literally over water on the side of a mountain and I had no builds. So there wasn't really much I could do at that point. So I was going to try to just heal with my med kit. But then of course I just got shot. I mean, of course that happened though. I was kind of just out in the open. But in the end, that wasn't really a bad game. I was doing pretty good and made it all the way to the top 3. And that was enough to rank me up to platinum. So now I was about halfway to Unreal. So I knew I had to just keep grinding. For my first game in platinum, of course I landed at Masked Meadows again. I know you're probably getting sick of me just landing at Masked Meadows every single time, but don't worry, I started landing other places later on. Although this time when I landed in the middle of it for some reason, which caused me to get shot right away. So I basically just had to dip immediately. And I'm just gonna skip all this boring crap because like I did absolutely nothing through the entire game until this point where I got an elimination. But then like pretty much right after that, I died. And yeah, bro, I know I'm playing like a freaking bot. Don't tell me. So after that tragedy, I still ranked up a tiny bit though, so I went on to the next game. For this game, again, I literally did absolutely nothing the entire time. Like there was no action except for this one elimination I got, and that's it. And then I died again. Look, I don't know what's up, but like I either would just die early on in the game with no eliminations, or I would get far into the game and only have like one elimination and then die, which really did not help my rank that much. So when I died this time, I literally didn't even rank up at all. So I put my super sweaty skin back on because that obviously was the reason why I was failing, right? Well, no. I think we can just all agree that I'm just awful at the game. This time when I went to Masked Meadows, there was somebody else in the tunnels trying to steal all my loot, so I don't appreciate that. Thankfully though, I clutched up and eliminated them. So that wasn't an awful way to start off this game. I decided to just leave Masked Meadows after that because I didn't feel like risking dying. So as I was leaving, I found a little blob and I brought him over to the rock thing. Again, the gun he gave me was just a trash gun, so I just left that. Anyways, I started farming up some materials, and that's when I saw somebody driving on a motorcycle, and that had to be one of the easiest eliminations I've ever gotten. Anyways, I made my way over to the plane crash because you can get a lot of metal there, and also there's a few chests. Afterwards, I made my way over to the top of the mountain, and that's when I saw this guy far away that started shooting at me. So I just started shooting back and actually eliminated him from pretty far away. So this game was actually going pretty well. I waited in a bush for a little bit, and then I left once 5 people were left. We successfully had made it to endgame finally, and somebody tried to glide down on top of me, but I hit them. I just didn't know they had the invisibility medallions, so it made it very difficult to fight them. Somebody started shooting the stupid explosive rifle at me, so that got me really low, and now I was getting pressured from 2 people at once. There was somebody behind me while somebody was shooting at the front of my box, so there wasn't really much I could do, and I ended up dying. I did get 5th place though, and I had 3 eliminations, which helped rank me up to platinum 2. So now it was time for the next game, and this time, instead of landing at Masked Meadows, I went to Flooded Frogs. I mainly liked Flooded Frogs for the secret vault thing. Also, look at this landing, bro. Like, could that have been more perfect? Anyways, I found a purple hollow twister right off spawn, and then I saw that there was somebody who landed in the water near me, so that let me get a free elimination right away. Then I got really lucky with this chest and got a purple sentinel with a void mask, so I was ready to go into the secret vault area. So that's where I went. I broke the rocks, shot my portal inside, and then started looting up. In there, I found a legendary hollow twister. Now that I was stacked, I was ready to go find some people to fight. Later on in the game, I noticed that somebody was hacking the chest on the train, so I went to go after them. They were not even expecting that either, but that was just a free elimination for me there. Then I noticed that somebody started shooting at me after I got off the train, so I got into this epic build fight with them. But I also noticed that somebody else was trying to sneak up on us, and I got him really low. But then of course, the guy I was fighting stole my elimination, and I was not gonna let that slide. I just kept finding angles to shoot him at until eventually the shield bubble broke. Then I noticed that he thought he could run away, so I sprayed him from up high and got him pretty low, and then I finished him, and he had the mythic hollow twister AR, so I was set now. Anyways, later on in the game, I was just driving around on my motorcycle, and that's when something unexpected happened. Stuff on my screen disappeared, and the whole world began to shake, and then a bright flash happened, and that's when I noticed that apparently I was in a game at the time of a mini live event happening. So there really wasn't much I could do except watch Shogun X and that weird other guy fight, and just waited for them to hurry up and finish, because to be honest, I just wanted to get back to my game. So anyways, I started fighting this one guy who was gliding from the air, and then he killed me. Anyways, I ranked up quite a bit from that game and was almost at Platinum 3. In the next game, I had the intention of ranking up to Platinum 3, but that didn't even happen. I'm not gonna waste your time. I died at 24th place with only one elimination, so I only went up 5%. So on the next game, I landed in between Lost Lake and Magic Mosses at this waterfall area, and I got a chest which allowed me to eliminate somebody else who had landed here as well. So I already was off to a good start. Then I realized that this place actually isn't that bad, and there's actually some decent loot here. Anyways, I'm just gonna skip all the boring stuff and get to the fights. I made my way over to Flooded Frogs, and that's when I saw this guy on the balcony. So I eliminated him, so I eliminated him, so I eliminated him, which put me at 2 eliminations. Later on, I made my way over towards some builds, and that's when I found this one guy just wandering around. So I got ready to fight him, but he hit me for quite a bit of damage, and now I was really low, and I basically failed that so miserably. Anyways though, I ended up getting 15th place with 2 eliminations, which helped me rank up to Platinum 3. So I went to the next game and landed at Flooded Frogs, and that's when I found an explosive Reaper rifle. So I shot somebody out of the air and got an elimination right away. Then I teleported inside the secret chest room, and that's when somebody ended up above me. So I was kind of just waiting to see if they'd leave, but they didn't. So I knew I just had to leave myself. So I started building near the entrance to see if they would come over there and get distracted, and it worked. So now I was able to get out of the porta potty and catch them off guard. They literally only were using a suppressed pistol though, and they had an AR, so I have no idea why they were just using that. Anyways, I almost failed that somehow, but thankfully I clutched up and lived, because that would have been embarrassing to die to that. Anyways, later on in the game, I saw somebody driving in a car, and they jumped out to try to attack me, but I eliminated them because they got stuck on one of my builds, which is kind of funny. Towards the end of the game, I saw somebody up on the zip lines, so I teleported over to them to try to eliminate them, but I literally got stuck in the crack, so I couldn't even move. But I did rank up quite a bit from that game. I still sadly hadn't even gotten a win yet, so my goal was to hopefully get a win in this game. So I tried to lock in and do my absolute best. So I chose to go to Flooded Frogs and ended up finding an AR on the ground, which let me eliminate somebody pretty much right away. Then I saw somebody using a sword, so I eliminated them from a distance. Again, I'm just gonna skip the boring stuff and go to the end where I started having an intense fight in Storm. So I'm just gonna let that footage play out.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
But after that game, I ranked up to Diamond. So I was making really good progress so far. So I went to the next game, not really expecting that much of a difference compared to the Platinum lobbies, but it is insane. Diamond players were way better than I thought. Now I know they're not like super good, but they are still pretty good, especially for me only being on keyboard and mouse a month and a half at this point. So I'm not gonna show every single game because in Diamond, there were so many games. Like, it was insane. I was dying time and time again and just couldn't seem to get a win. The Diamond lobbies were so difficult for me that I was actually having to ask people to help me rank up. That didn't even help at all. In fact, I actually lost percentage when I played duos rank, and I just knew I really wasn't that good at the game, so it would be very difficult to get a win in Diamond. And you'll never guess what video was in my recommended. It was a video by Taven UK or Tavin UK. I'm not sure exactly, but his video actually really helped me a lot to understand what I needed to do to rank up without having to fight everybody. I'm not going to talk about everything he talked about, but he did explain how placement does help you rank up more. Basically, just the stuff he told me helped me understand that I needed to actually not be trying to fight everybody I see and trying to get better placement, because in the higher ranks, apparently getting better placement is actually better than getting more eliminations. So look, I know, it's really boring, but for most of the games from here on, I did kind of just camp.
You need to leave.
Now, it's not completely boring because I still had fights and stuff, but for most of the games, I did just end up sitting in a bush, just trying my best to get to the top 10 in every game. And after about a couple hours, I finally was at Diamond 2. So I was super close to hitting Elite. I knew that if I couldn't beat Diamond players though, that there was no way I could beat Unreal players. So I knew I just had to lock in. So I played a few practice maps like Peace Control 2v2s, Peace Control 1v1, and just any maps that would help me improve. And just taking that little break from rank actually helped me play way better. I was getting more eliminations now and was actually doing really well, even to the point where in this game, I eliminated this guy and didn't take any damage in return. Sadly, I did get eliminated shortly after, but when I ranked up, I literally ranked up to Diamond 3, 95%. I was literally 5% away from hitting Elite. And I'm sorry that I didn't show much for Diamond, but like I said, I mainly just camped and stuff. And also at that time, apparently I ran out of storage on my computer, so I didn't get a lot of the stuff recorded, sadly, but I did transfer all my files over to my external hard drive and then was able to finish recording the rest of the challenge. Now, I knew that I was literally just 1 or 2 eliminations away from hitting Elite. So for the next game, I tried my absolute hardest to play the best that I could. So for this game, I decided to go somewhere different. So I looked all over the map and then decided to land at this area where the 2 turtles are. I've never really been there before, but it looked like nobody probably would land there since they were just on the edges of the map. But when I landed there, I didn't even realize how much loot there was. And somebody else had landed at the other turtle, so I eliminated him quickly and then started looting up. Anyways, after looting all the turtles, I decided to try to catch some fish since that was like one of the quickest ways to heal up. I guess I should have been more protected though because somebody just came up behind me and just demolished me. So I knew that turtles was a really good place to land, although I wasn't completely sure if that's where I wanted to land every time. So I decided to go to Masked Meadows again for this game, and I ended up getting this one elimination from somebody who was literally just camping on the stairs. Honestly, he jump scared. Throughout the game, I actually picked up a few eliminations, so I was doing pretty good, and I made it all the way to the top 6. I was stuck in Storm, so I tried my best to get out, but it was already too late. I sadly died to Storm, but the 4 eliminations and getting 6th place was enough to rank me up to Elite. Now, I was only 2 ranks away from hitting Unreal, so this goal didn't seem like it was going to be too impossible. I would love to go into detail about every game that I played in Elite, but I honestly don't have time for that, and you'd probably get bored of it very soon, because I kid you not, I played well over 50 games and did not gain any percentage. So game after game after game in Elite, I just kept dying. I couldn't seem to rank up that much, and the 24-hour deadline was starting to close in. Not only that, but also the season was about to end. So I knew I had to try my absolute best to at least hit champion. So I grinded game after game after game, but I had no luck at all. Look guys, I'm sorry that I didn't make it all the way to Unreal, but I really did try my absolute best. I'm not even kidding. That was literally one of the hardest things I have ever done. Since I failed, I might try this challenge again some other day, just probably not anytime soon because that completely drained me. But in the end, we did make it to Elite, so that is some great progress, especially for being so new on keyboard and mouse. But now, what you're probably wondering is how many hours did it take for me to hit Elite? Well, I just calculated it and I spent 20 hours and 47 minutes trying to rank up from Silver all the way to Unreal. And as you know, I only made it to Elite and I was stuck in Elite for 5 hours. So if that doesn't show how much hard work I was willing to put in to reach Unreal for you guys, then I don't know what does. Now hold on, I know you want to click off the video since it's at the end, but just give me a second. You're going to want to hear this announcement. At around the time of me releasing this video, I'm at about 5,500 subscribers. Like that is insane. I only have 2 videos on the channel and I already have 5,000 subs. And I honestly just really appreciate all the support from all of you guys. So to show my appreciation, I will be holding a 1,000 V-Bucks giveaway. So if you want to win some V-Bucks, go ahead and join my Discord server and go to #announcements and click the Google Forms link to enter the giveaway. The winner will be chosen on March 9th, 2025. So if you want some free V-Bucks, go ahead and enter below. It's free. You don't have to do anything. Also, if you do happen to win, then make sure you use code PRESFN in the item shop before you purchase anything. And even if you didn't win the V-Bucks, I would still really appreciate it if you used my code anytime you buy something, because that's one of the best ways to help support me so I can keep doing giveaways just like this. Now just stick around for a few more seconds for the outro. Alright guys, I tried my best to reach Unreal. I didn't make it, so I'm sorry. I might try this again in the future like I said. So if you want to see that, then get this video 10,000 likes and I'll do it. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing because I put so much work into editing this video. So I would really appreciate it if you would just hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one.